The Lady of the Lost Woods, a tale of courage, love, and redemption. Sir Edmund, a valiant knight in the service of King Alistair, was patrolling the outskirts of the kingdom when he came upon the dense and enigmatic Whispering Woods. Despite the eerie tales surrounding the forest, Sir Edmund felt a sense of duty to ensure that no danger lurked within its depths. As he ventured forth, the tree's branches stretched above him like skeletal fingers, blotting out the sunlight and casting an otherworldly glow on the forest floor. As he moved cautiously through the undergrowth, Sir Edmund suddenly heard the faint echo of urgent whispers in the distance. Curiosity drove him further into the woods, where he eventually stumbled upon a young girl, her clothes torn and dirtied from running. She was huddled behind a large oak tree, her eyes wide with fear as the sound of approaching footsteps caught her attention. "What is it, child?" Sir Edmund inquired, his voice barely above a whisper. "Why do you hide?"
"Please," the girl pleaded, her voice trembling. "Those men, they're chasing me. They want to hurt me. Please help me."
The girl, despite her disheveled appearance, was strikingly beautiful. Her long, raven-black hair cascaded down her shoulders, framing her porcelain-white face. Her deep, sapphire-blue eyes were wide with terror, yet there was an undeniable strength and determination within them. Her delicate features and rosebud lips were accentuated by the fear that gripped her, yet it was evident that, even in her vulnerable state, she possessed an inner fire and tenacity. Understanding dawned on the knight's face as he drew his sword, ready to defend the girl against the unseen threat. He turned to face the approaching footsteps, his body tensed and prepared for battle. As the men stepped into the clearing, their menacing eyes landed on Sir Edmund, but they hesitated at the sight of his gleaming blade. "Leave this place," the knight commanded, his voice steady and resolute. "The girl is under my protection now, and I will not hesitate to strike you down if you dare to lay a hand on her." The men hesitated for a moment before finally relenting, turning away and vanishing into the shadows of the forest. With the danger now dissipated, Sir Edmund sheathed his sword and turned to the girl, offering his hand to help her up. "Fear not, young one. You are safe now," he assured her with a kind smile. "We shall find your home and reunite you with your family. I am Sir Edmund, a humble knight of this kingdom, and I vow to protect you." As they made their way out of the forest, the sun broke through the trees once more, bathing the knight and the rescued girl in warm, comforting light. Upon emerging from the Whispering Woods, Sir Edmund led the young girl back to his humble abode at the edge of the kingdom. As they arrived, the knight ushered her inside, hoping to offer her some much-needed respite and sustenance after her harrowing ordeal. The warmth and coziness of the knight's home seemed to ease her fear, and she looked around with a mix of curiosity and gratitude. "Please make yourself at home," Sir Edmund said, his voice warm and inviting. "Though my abode may be humble, it is yours to enjoy. Rest yourself by the hearth, and allow me the honor of preparing a meal to restore your strength." With a gentle nod, he gestured toward a worn but comfortable chair, ensuring that his guest felt welcome and at ease within the modest walls of his dwelling. The girl, her eyes filled with a mixture of relief and appreciation, gazed around the cozy interior of Sir Edmund's home. She took a seat in the chair by the hearth, her body relaxing as the warmth of the crackling fire enveloped her.
"I cannot thank you enough for your kindness and bravery, Sir Edmund. My name is Isabel," she said, her voice sincere and heartfelt. "You have saved me from a dreadful fate, and I am eternally grateful. Your home, though humble, is a sanctuary to me, and I am honored to be your guest." As she spoke, the fear that had gripped her earlier began to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude for the chivalrous knight who had risked his life to protect her. In the safety of his home, she found solace and comfort, knowing that the dark shadows of the forest could no longer reach her. As the girl settled into the chair, a handsome young man entered the room, his eyes immediately drawn to their unexpected guest. This was Daniel, Sir Edmund's son and squire, who had recently returned from training with the kingdom's finest knights.
"Father, who is this?" Daniel inquired, his gaze never leaving the girl's face. "This young lady was in need of our assistance," Sir Edmund explained as he continued to prepare the meal. "Daniel, would you be so kind as to keep her company while I finish cooking?" Daniel nodded, taking a seat beside the girl and introducing himself. As they talked, the girl shared her story and Daniel listened with rapt attention, his heart swelling with admiration for her courage and resilience. As their conversation continued, the young squire found himself captivated by her intelligence and warmth, a sense of connection blossoming between them. Though their time together was brief, Daniel knew that he had fallen in love with the mysterious girl his father had rescued. He vowed to protect her and ensure that no harm would ever befall her again. As they finished their meal, Daniel and his father made plans to reunite the girl with her family. As the evening drew to a close, the young girl revealed a small portion of her true identity to Daniel and Sir Edmund. She was, in fact, a lady-in-waiting for the princess of the neighboring kingdom, though she pleaded with them to keep this information to themselves. Her eyes darted nervously as she spoke, the weight of a heavy secret pressing upon her shoulders.
I am grateful for your kindness and bravery, Sir Edmund and Daniel, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. I must confess I am more than a mere peasant girl. My name is Isabel de Alba, daughter of Count Richard de Alba, and I serve as lady-in-waiting to Princess Eleanor of the neighboring kingdom. But I carry a secret that could bring ruin to my kingdom. This is why I was attacked. I do not know who to trust, but I feel safe in your presence.
Daniel listened intently, his heart aching for the beautiful Isabel and her plight. He looked to his father, who gave him a reassuring nod, signaling that they would do everything in their power to help the girl. Isabel, you have our word that we will keep your secret, Daniel said, sincerity ringing in his voice. We vow to help you in any way we can.
Relief washed over Isabel's face, and she smiled softly, gratitude shining in her eyes. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Sir Edmund, she said. I will forever remember your kindness and hope that one day I can repay your generosity. As the words of gratitude left Isabel's lips, her thoughts drifted to the incredible acts of selflessness displayed by both Daniel and Sir Edmund. She marveled at the way they had welcomed her into their home, offering her protection and warmth without hesitation. The sense of security that she felt in their presence was a stark contrast to the terror that had gripped her in the Whispering Woods. Isabel couldn't help but feel a deep admiration for Daniel's unwavering determination to see her safely to her destination. His selflessness and dedication to the Knight's Code were inspiring, and she knew that his bravery would be forged into legend.
As the evening drew to a close, Sir Edmund shared the tale of their family's legacy over a simple yet hearty meal. He spoke of their proud lineage of knights, each one dedicated to upholding honor and valor above all else. However, he also recounted the misfortunes that had befallen them in recent times, forcing them to embrace a life of humility. Isabel listened attentively, her gaze filled with empathy and admiration.
Your unwavering commitment to chivalry, even in the face of adversity, is truly inspiring, Isabel said, her voice warm and sincere. I hold the utmost respect for you both, and am grateful to have found such noble companions in these troubled times.
With the decision made to embark on their journey at first light, they bid each other good night. As Isabel retired to the modest yet comfortable bedchamber prepared for her, Daniel watched her go, a newfound determination burning within him. He was resolved to protect her and her kingdom, no matter the perils that awaited them on their quest. Though the path ahead was uncertain, Daniel found solace in the knowledge that his father would be by his side, and Isabel's faith in him would serve as a guiding light. With courage in his heart and the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, the young squire steeled himself for the challenges to come, knowing that he was ready to face whatever destiny had in store. In the morning, Sir Edmund and Daniel embarked on a perilous journey to return Isabel safely to her family's castle. As they ventured deeper into the dense forest, the trio remained vigilant, aware that danger could lurk around any corner. Their caution proved warranted when they found themselves ambushed by a group of ruthless bandits, their eyes glinting with malice as they brandished their weapons. Sir Edmund, with years of experience and hard-earned battle instincts, immediately positioned himself in front of Isabel, his sword drawn and his body tensed for combat. Daniel, fueled by a fierce determination to protect his charge, took his place at his father's side, the young squire's own blade gleaming in the filtered sunlight that pierced the canopy above. The bandits, sensing a formidable challenge, hesitated for a moment before launching their attack. Sir Edmund and Daniel fought with all their might, their swords dancing in a deadly yet elegant display of skill and courage. The clash of steel rang through the forest as the battle raged, the bandits' viciousness matched only by the knights' unwavering resolve. As the fight wore on, it became evident that the two noble warriors were gaining the upper hand. The bandits, realizing their folly in underestimating the formidable duo, began to falter. Seizing the opportunity, Sir Edmund and Daniel pressed their advantage, their swords flashing with precision and purpose. At last, the final bandit fell, and a heavy silence descended upon the forest. Sir Edmund and Daniel, bruised and bloodied but victorious, turned to Isabel, relief flooding their faces as they saw her unharmed. Though they had won the day, the reality of the danger that awaited them on their journey was a stark reminder of the perilous road ahead. With newfound respect for one another's prowess, the trio continued on their quest, their bond strengthened by the shared experience of triumph over adversity. The journey had taken them to the banks of a tumultuous river, its raging current a testament to the relentless power of nature. The trio surveyed the scene before them, keenly aware of the danger that awaited them in the churning waters. With no alternative route in sight, they knew that they had no choice but to attempt the perilous crossing. Isabel, her face set with determination, stepped towards the river's edge. Sir Edmund and Daniel exchanged a worried glance, their shared concern for her safety evident in their eyes. As they prepared to enter the water, the two knights positioned themselves on either side of Isabel, their swords sheathed and their bodies tense with anticipation. The moment they stepped into the river, the current's strength became terrifyingly apparent. They struggled to maintain their footing on the slippery riverbed, the water rising to their waists as they forged ahead. Despite their efforts, Isabel's feet suddenly lost their grip, and she was swept away by the unforgiving torrent. Without hesitation, Daniel dove into the raging waters, his heart pounding in his chest as he fought against the powerful current. He swam with all his might, his gaze fixed on Isabel's disappearing form as she was carried downstream. Sir Edmund, his own body battered by the relentless river, shouted words of encouragement urging his son to save her. With an extra burst of determination, Daniel closed the distance between them, his fingers brushing against Isabel's outstretched hand. He gripped her tightly, pulling her towards him as they struggled to reach the riverbank. Finally, with one last desperate push, they emerged from the water, gasping for air and clinging to one another in relief. As the pair emerged from the tumultuous river, they collapsed onto the bank, their bodies weary and their spirits worn. The shock of the ordeal gradually began to subside, and they took a moment to gather themselves, breathing heavily as they regained their strength. Sir Edmund, his face etched with concern, hurried to their side, helping them to their feet. They stood together, their bodies trembling from the ordeal, yet their resolve unbroken. Sir Edmund surveyed their condition, ensuring that no serious injuries had been sustained in the crossing. Though battered and bruised, their resilience shone through, and the relief of their survival washed over them. As they sat huddled together, regaining their composure, they shared words of encouragement and gratitude. Isabel expressed her heartfelt thanks to Daniel for his heroic actions, her voice trembling with emotion as she recounted the terror of being swept away by the unforgiving current. In turn, Daniel brushed off the praise, insisting that he had only done what any knight would do for their charge. Sir Edmund, his eyes filled with pride, commended them both for their bravery in the face of such adversity. He reminded them that their bond was stronger for having faced such trials together, and that they should take heart in the knowledge that they were capable of overcoming even the most formidable of obstacles. As the sun began to set on the horizon, painting the sky with hues of crimson and gold, the trio continued their journey with a renewed sense of determination. Though the memory of the river ordeal lingered, it served as a testament to their resilience and unwavering commitment to their quest. Together, they forged ahead, ready to face whatever challenges lay in wait on the road that stretched out before them. As their journey continued, the weight of their trials bore down on them, yet their determination never wavered. Unbeknownst to them, a new and sinister threat loomed on the horizon, intent on disrupting Isabel's vital mission. As they navigated the dimly lit forest, a group of enemy soldiers ambushed them, their armor glinting ominously in the moonlight. Isabel, terror gripping her heart, understood the true purpose of this attack: to capture her and ensure the plot she sought to expose would remain hidden in the shadows. Sir Edmund, ever the valiant knight, drew his sword, placing himself between Isabel and the encroaching danger. Daniel, following his father's lead, steeled himself for the battle to come, the young squire's eyes blazing with a fierce determination. The ensuing fight was a cacophony of clashing steel and desperate cries, each side battling for control. Despite their best efforts, the enemy's superior numbers began to overwhelm them. Realizing that defeat was imminent, Sir Edmund made a fateful decision. With a final heartfelt look towards Isabel and Daniel, he charged forward, throwing himself into the fray with a ferocity that belied his waning strength. His sacrifice bought them precious moments, allowing the pair to escape into the darkness, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of Sir Edmund's noble act. As they fled, their grief threatened to consume them. Isabel, her voice trembling with emotion, revealed the truth behind her mission, a treacherous plot to overthrow the neighboring kingdom, masterminded by a power-hungry nobleman who sought to control the realm. Daniel, his eyes filled with a steely resolve, vowed to see Isabel's mission through to the end. Together, they would honor Sir Edmund's memory and ensure that his sacrifice had not been in vain. With their newfound purpose, they pressed on, their hearts aching for the fallen knight, but their determination to see justice served unwavering. At dawn, as they emerged from the forest, the sight that greeted them was one of utter devastation. Isabel's family castle stood in ruins, its once proud walls now charred and crumbling, a haunting reminder of the tragic events that had transpired. Scattered throughout the wreckage were the bodies of Isabel's loved ones, their lives cruelly cut short by the malevolent forces that sought to claim the kingdom. The acrid smell of smoke hung heavy in the air, mingling with the overwhelming sense of loss and despair. Isabel, her heart breaking at the sight of her family's demise, knelt beside the fallen, her hands trembling as she reached out to touch the faces of those she had loved. The weight of their sacrifice was nearly unbearable, a stark reminder of the high stakes that fueled their perilous journey. Daniel, his own eyes filled with sorrow, stood by Isabel's side, offering silent support as she grieved for her family and the life they had once shared within these now ruined walls. With heavy hearts, they began their search for survivors, hoping against hope that someone might have escaped the slaughter. As they combed through the wreckage, Isabel happened upon a hidden passage beneath the rubble.
"Daniel," she called out, her voice filled with urgency, "I've found something." Together, they navigated the narrow passageway, eventually emerging into the dimly lit chamber. To their surprise, Princess Eleanor was there and alive, though weakened from her ordeal. "Isabel," she exclaimed, her eyes lighting up with hope, "I knew you would return. And who is this brave companion of yours?" "This is Daniel, the son of Sir Edmund," Isabel explained, helping the princess to her feet. "He has been instrumental in ensuring my safe return." With the princess under their protection, Isabel and Daniel navigated their way out from the ruins of the castle. The weight of their recent trials hung heavy in the air, but their resolve remained unwavering. As they made their way through the rubble, the princess recounted her harrowing experience following the ambush in the forest. She had been separated from Isabel, who had bravely attempted to draw the enemy's attention, allowing the princess a chance to escape. "I sought refuge with your family, Isabel," the princess confessed, her voice trembling with guilt and sorrow. "But the enemy pursued me, and now they have paid a terrible price for their kindness. They hid me in the underground chamber. It is all my fault, Isabel. I am so sorry." Isabel, her eyes filled with empathy, placed a comforting hand on the princess's shoulder. "The blame lies solely on the shoulders of the wicked noble behind this treachery," she reassured her. "My family's sacrifice will not be in vain if we can reach the king in time and expose the plot to end his life. We must press on and ensure that justice is served."
Daniel, his own gaze resolute, nodded in agreement. Together they made their way to the road to the capital, their footsteps guided by the flickering sunlight through the thick branches of the forest road. Though the path ahead was uncertain, their determination and newfound purpose drove them forward, each step bringing them closer to the light that awaited them at the journey's end. Despite their best efforts to remain unseen, Isabel, Daniel, and the princess encountered an enemy patrol as they approached the capital. A fierce skirmish ensued, and in a selfless act of valor, Daniel threw himself in harm's way to shield Isabel from a fatal strike. Though grievously wounded, he still managed to dispatch their attackers, his unwavering determination shining through the pain. Isabel, her heart wrenching at the sight of Daniel's injury, tended to his wounds with a gentle touch and a fierce resolve to see him healed. They continued their perilous journey, hope dwindling with each passing moment, until they happened upon a loyal knight of the king. Recognizing their dire situation, the knight and his men swiftly escorted them to the safety of the king's castle.
Within the castle walls, Isabel and Princess Eleanor warned the king of the treacherous plot, leading to the swift capture of the conspirators. But even as the kingdom rejoiced in the thwarting of the nefarious scheme, Isabel's heart remained heavy, for Daniel lay on the brink of death, his life hanging in the balance despite the royal physician's best efforts. Isabel remained by Daniel's side, her eyes filled with tears as she whispered words of love and encouragement, begging him to fight for his life. "Don't leave me, Daniel," she pleaded, her voice aching with emotion. "You are all I have. I love you."
Days turned into nights as Daniel's fate remained uncertain, his unconscious form balanced precariously between life and death. But Isabel's unwavering love and dedication seemed to reach him in the darkness, and slowly but surely his condition began to improve. As Daniel's recovery progressed, the king recognized his bravery and unwavering loyalty, bestowing upon him the esteemed title of knight. The honor was a testament to Daniel's selflessness and courage in protecting Isabel, the princess, and the kingdom from the malevolent forces that had threatened them. With Daniel on the path to recovery, he and Isabel grew closer, their shared experiences forming an unbreakable bond between them. Love blossomed from the ashes of their trials, and upon Daniel's return to health, they were married in a joyous celebration of their triumph over evil and the power of their love. Recognizing their valor and dedication, the king named Daniel the Count of Isabel's family land. Together, they began the arduous yet rewarding task of rebuilding her family's estate, forging a new life and a family filled with love, hope, and the promise of a brighter future for the kingdom.